Welcome to Black Coffee Talks, and my name is Marcus. And today we're going to be talking about a series of videos that we're going to be showing you guys that we took in Belize. Around August 2018, Tami and I moved to Belize for about almost a year. We came back around May of 2019. And our first stop was in San Igancio Belize. San Ignacio Belize is located in western Belize. It has the neighbor town of Santa Elena. And once we arrived there, it was a different experience that we've ever seen, being in another country for myself for the first time. And it was some things that we found out that that we didn't know, of course, because we just visited it, that we would like to share with you guys. So if you don't mind, we're going to start with 5 things that we didn't know about San Igancio Belize. And the first thing is there's a lot of expats in San Ignacio. It's a melting pot. They say America's a melting pot, but I think San Ignacio is truly a melting pot. So much so that some of the people we couldn't differentiate if they were Lebanese or Mayan or of that nature. So we didn't really know. So it was, like I said, it was a lot of people there, different cultures and different races, but it was beautiful because everybody was blended in nicely, and it was very, very beautiful. Also, if you compare San Ignacio to Placencia, Belize, and San Pedro Belize, the land is cheaper. It's really cheaper. We had somebody every day coming up to us trying to sell us land, and I'm talking about large acres of land for like maybe $10,000 to $15,000, maybe $20,000, and this would happen on a everyday basis almost. And the land was beautiful out there, and it was cheap, and we couldn't believe it because we haven't seen anything like that in the United States in years to be that cheap. But they will always come to us, and they'll always ask us all the time, do we want to buy land? Sometimes they would come up to our home that we had rented and ask us, do we want to buy some land? So I noticed that was a big difference compared to San Pedro and Placencia. The second thing we didn't know is the taxis that they have in San Ignacio are mostly driven in, I'd say, Nissans, 86, 87 Nissans, Toyotas, or Hondas. And some of them I think was Volkswagens. And these cars were older models. I think they were like old imports that came from the United States. And they didn't look that great, but those cars ran. And I know those foreign cars, they can run forever, but those cars looked like they wasn't in that great shape. It didn't even look like they may go from point A to point B, but those cars ran all day. All day. I mean, almost like Uber runs over here all day, and those cars were older models. So whatever they did to keep those cars running, I just want to salute them. But they got you from point A to point B just like an Uber would. But they wasn't the cleanest cars, but they were efficient on getting us where we need to go from one destination to another. So I want to shout out our friend, which is our taxi driver. Main taxi driver was Mikhail. He showed us around. He told us about the culture. He just told us the different things about San Ignacio, and he kind of was like a tour guide, sort of. So I want to shout out Mikhail. The number 3 thing that we didn't know is, like I said, it's a melting pot. It's Creole, Chinese, Lebanese, Guatemalan, Mayans. It's all kind of cultures there. Man, like I said, we didn't know it was so diverse there, but it was. And but it was a beautiful thing. We had fun there, and we had fun learning about the different cultures and talking to people. And after a while, we kind of got familiar with where they may be from. Outside of the Chinese and Lebanese, I think it was kind of difficult to find out what everybody was and what culture they were from. Like I said, it was a beautiful thing because everybody blended in, and everybody got along beautifully as far as we know while we were there. And number 4, the 4th thing that we noticed about living in San Pedro is it's only 15 minutes from Guatemala. We went to Guatemala. I apologize. I don't know what town we were in, but we went to Guatemala and spent maybe a good 3 or 4 hours over there. I had lunch over there with a lady named Jennifer, which was kind of our tour guide. And it was a different experience as well, being in another country again. I think we went that following Sunday after our first week there. And we just went to like the little market where they have a lot of clothes, plenty of clothes, a lot of clothes, a lot of Nikes. I mean, dirt cheap prices and everything. But it was a good experience to go over there in Guatemala, and they were friendly as well. And it was also different types of races over there as well. So like I said, everybody blended in good, and everybody got along as well. And our fifth thing is the stores. Most of the stores in San Ignacio is owned by Asians. That's not an issue, but a lot of the stores didn't have ACs in them. So they kept a lot of their frozen foods in these deep freezers. These long deep freezers, like back in the day, where I know my grandfather and grandmother had one in the smokehouse. Maybe dating myself, but it's a smokehouse where they had the long deep freezer where they kept a lot of vegetables out of the garden for the winter, and a lot of meats, deer meat, chicken, things of that nature. So there's no section where you can just go and grab some, I say meat or anything, and then just go home and cook it. Everything is frozen in these deep freezers, long deep freezers. And so once you go in there, that's where all the meats are. And we got to go home, and then you have to thaw that meat out before you cook it. So that was interesting. And a lot of the items kind of have like dust on them. It's kind of dusty, So you have to kind of like get some of the dust off the canned goods before you buy them. But like I said, that was just different to see that they didn't have AC, and mostly everybody was Asians that owned all those stores. I didn't see not one grocery store that they didn't own. So like I said, nothing wrong with that. It's just something we pointed out. But it was a beautiful experience as well. And like I said, we enjoyed staying in San Ignacio. We loved the people there. They were cool. We met some good friends. And one more bonus tip. Burn Streets. The Burn Streets is like a little district going down there, little entertainment district. They have restaurants. They have bars. They have vendors that sell like different clothes and different items there on Burn Street. So that's kind of like the main entertainment district that you can go down, and it's a hangout spot for like young people, middle-aged people, or tourists. Tourists in general. So that was a good spot, the Burns Avenue. So if you want to, if you ever go to San Ignacio, that would be the first place that you will notice a lot of people there, and a lot of tourists go back and forth through there. So we had our time, we had our fun. Shout out to Raj at Tandor Bar, which we used to go there all the time, and he would let us play our American music, Michael Jackson, and Lionel Richie or whatever, and we would have fun. So there you have it. That is the 5 things that we learned while we were in San Igancio Belize. I'm sure we're gonna have more things that we learn. I gotta go back in my memory and discuss it with Tami and see what else we learned, because it was a lot that we did learn while we was in San Ignacio. So this concludes this video podcast. I just want to thank you guys again. Again, my name is Marcus, and this is Black Coffee Talks. Peace.